I'm in my car right now, and there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, I was at the gym. Second of all, I would really like to just rant because I have a lot of things on my mind, and I cannot sugarcoat this. Okay? Yes, JJ, we have the Phillies playoff run coming up. It starts tomorrow. That's really cool. Hey, JJ, how about those Eagles? The Eagles are doing a pretty good job, and they're still taking care of business. That's really cool. But I cannot lie to you, and I would be very naive to not tell you that I am really concerned about the Sixers team. I'm not looking forward to this season. And there's been one reason why I really haven't been doing a whole lot of Sixers cast lately, and it's just because it makes me feel really sad. It does. I don't like where this team is right now. I think that it is such a shame with what James Harden has put Daryl Morey through, and just the whole team itself. It's not even just Daryl. And I want to kind of unpack everything here because today was media day, and there's a whole lot of stuff to get into with this team, and I want to kind of go over all that sort of stuff. Now I'm doing this from my phone. I would like to see if I would like to see if I can see your messages. I don't think I can see them right now. There we go. Okay, I see comments right there. Good. All right, so we got three people on here. Yeah, so we're doing this from the car because I really have to rant, and it's probably not going to be cool to hear. It's going to get a little bit loud, but this is sort of like a therapeutic session for me in regards to just talking about the Sixers. I feel like that it is just the same thing over and over again, year in and year out, with somebody not showing up to a press conference, somebody not wanting to be here to play with another great superstar that we have that's the MVP, and we just keep getting stuck. I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated, and I don't really know what else to say in regards to that. James is a very talented player who, when he wants to play and when he wants to show up and do certain things, can really help a team. But if he's putting on weight and he's looking really slow on the court and he's not working on his game to get better, that hurts a team. I'm not happy with how James Harden handled himself and how it's really just been, like you have to talk to my representatives. I listened to the whole Daryl Morey press conference today, along with Nick Nurse. I heard what they had to say. I put myself through it. And at this point, the Sixers failed in the offseason, and I don't know where they go from here. I don't know what they do. The talk really isn't even about Tobias Harris. Let's think about this for a second. We all thought that heading into this offseason, that Tobias Harris was going to be moved, and that was the biggest conversation, along with that the team didn't get it done, and that they have certain moves that they have to make, and James Harden wasn't good, Joel Embiid wasn't that good, and the rest of the team, just the way that it's built, has really stunk, and they're just like not really going anywhere. I totally understand that. But now the whole conversation has shifted where I can't even focus on, the development of Tyrese Maxey. I can't even focus on the fact that they got Nick Nurse, who's one of the best head coaches in the game, which is awesome. And those two things are absolutely great. The problem is that I don't know what this roster is going to look like. I have no idea what they're going to look like. And that's the biggest problem, in my opinion. And I just don't know if my superstar is going to show up. I don't know what to expect out of him. And then that certainly has different types of expectations, if you will, for Joel Embiid and his game, because now his game's going to shift. Tyrese Maxey's game's going to shift. The rest of the rest of the team is going to have to play different roles, and that's underneath Nick Nurse. There are so many question marks with this team, and it's not even just the fact that Milwaukee and Boston got better, and we'll talk about Boston in just a little bit because I certainly have my thoughts about Jrue Holiday, and I would love to go over those types of things as well. But I'm just sick and tired of this team. I really am, and I'm really looking forward to the Phillies. in October, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how great the Eagles are this year, but I cannot sugarcoat how I feel about this team because it sucks. We're get stuck every single year. Every freaking time. I'm tired. I'm angry. How can I look forward to a season when I don't know, A, what the roster is going to look like, B, I don't know who is going to, I don't know if we're going to be competing for a championship or not, or what the mindset is from the front office. And I just don't know what direction that this team is going in. How does that make me happy? It doesn't. It makes me feel very worried, and it makes me feel so sick to my stomach. I personally thought that once Ben Simmons was gone, that we would never have to deal with this sort of drama ever again. But here we go again. Feels like it's deja vu. Somebody doesn't show up to their opening press conference. Somebody is just, you know, not just doesn't want to be on the team. Signs this deal or signs into his contract, and now has problems with our GM, and it's just I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't. But basketball season is on the rise. And it's a shame because we're going to have to play Milwaukee in the very first game anyways, and that's certainly not going to be fun at all whatsoever, seeing Damian Lillard on the other side. Dame was that sort of prize, you know what I'm saying? That, like, whenever you would, like, go to the Funplex or, like, go to Dave & Buster's, you'd feel like that the prize that you got, like if you cashed in like the most tickets or whatever, like you were gonna get that top prize. That's what Damian Lillard felt like for this team. That's what he felt like for the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat were certainly not happy with what happened and with what went down from Milwaukee. And then you have and then you have the second prize, if you will, with Jrue Holiday, and that's sort of like the complimentary prize, and the Sixers can't even get that. How am I supposed to feel happy? How am I supposed to feel positive about this team when all they just keep doing is just go to the second round, have some sort of drama tattooed on their back, and just not be able to get it done and fail? How does that make me excited for the season? It doesn't. And I love Tyrese Maxey, and I love B-Ball Paul. I think that Mo Bamba and Kelly Oubre were really good pickups for this team, but that doesn't move the needle. You understand what I'm saying? It's a superstar type of a league. You need superstars to produce if you want to win. These guys are complementary pieces, and they can fit in a system, and that's nice, and they can bring team morale. Forgot to mention Patrick Beverley. You know, I have to be sure that I mention him too. But they just don't move the needle. They don't take this team from a second round exit to an automatic Eastern Conference Finals exit. This team has never even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001. The Tobias Harris contract sucks. We're not even going to move Toby. Like, that's not even the focus right now. And that to me is really sad because if that's the number one thing, I feel like I'd feel a lot better. I'd feel better if James Harden actually wanted to play here, even though there's still a lot of question marks with that, if he were to come back. If he just would have stayed and there was none of this drama, I'd feel, I hate to say this, but I'd feel better about that, even though I still wouldn't feel good. But it's just really hits an all-time low. And I am so ready to rebuild. I know that this is not what they're going to do. And I don't see this happening, but I want them to have a direction, and I want them to sort of have a philosophy of where to go and start over again. If the mindset from Daryl Morey and Elton Brand is to go win a championship this year, You got to find a way to do it. That's how it is. If the mindset then becomes, hey, guess what? We don't think that we can compete for a championship now, but we want to center our team around Tyrese Maxey and try to build around him for the future. I'm okay with that too. I'd be perfectly fine if they said that. Yeah, it would suck that we're not watching competitive basketball, but then if you just stick to these ways, right? If you just stick to this, you're not going to go anywhere. And I would much rather have let this team have some sort of direction and fail at that rather than just continue to go down this road. I'm a big Joel Embiid fan. I loved what he had to say today at the press conference. But I can't even look forward to his season because guess what? He's already reached his ceiling. And I hate to say it, but that's the truth. He has reached his ceiling, and his game is going to be different without James Harden. He needs a really good facilitator, and I don't know how Tyrese Maxey is going to fit into this whole thing with the playmaking and all that sort of stuff, and that's a whole nother conversation to have another day. I'm just talking about with where this team is right now, I have no idea how to assess them. They're a very confusing franchise. They're a cursed franchise, and man, this has really just been eating me up inside all day today. And when I made my schedule last night, right, I thought about it. I saw that the tweets about Media Day were coming up, and I said, you know what? I don't know if I want to do it. And then today I hear all the press conferences and stuff, and I hear about people coming on here. Shout out to RB, shout out to the DJ Eastwood, Run It Back Philly. Go follow all those channels if you haven't done so already. Love those guys. Love Broads as well. Mitchkovsky, all those guys, man. But it just makes me feel sad. And it makes me feel so heartbroken because I love this team, but I'm tired of the misery that they're putting me through right now, just as a fan. You understand what I'm saying? You feel me? Do I have a right to be mad? I think I do. Because they've been giving me garbage. It's not about the rotations. It's a superstar type of a league. You win with the superstars. Joel failed last year. Yes, he gets hurt every single year, but guess what? He wasn't really that hurt last year, and he didn't step up in Game 6, didn't step up in Game 7, and cared more about the MVP. I'm calling it like it is. Tobias Harris only gets you 4 points in 41 minutes. Come on. Oh my gosh. We expected that this team was going to win a championship in the Joel Embiid era, and it's failed. And if I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but if Tyrese Maxey is your second best player, and gosh, Tyrese Maxey is going to be a superstar, I love him to death. But if he's your second best player right now, you're not going anywhere. You're just not. You're not going anywhere if that happens. I'm going to read your comments in just a couple of minutes because I'd love to continue this conversation with you guys. But here is my final thing I want to say. Man, it's hard for me to do this. Every year I'm always so excited about this team and seeing where they're going to go. I'm tired of this pain. I really am. I didn't want to really talk about them too much during the off season, and I wanted to really focus on my Phillies. Thought that was a really good distraction. But the reason why I didn't really talk about the Sixers is because what the heck is there to talk about? I believed in them for so long. This team has failed me. But the last thing I wanted to touch up on is this. I'm not the biggest fan of Daryl Morey. I was a big fan of Daryl Morey. I don't care what chips fall on your shoulders, man. It's on you. You got to get this stuff done. I'm tired. I'm impatient. And, if he doesn't get it done this year, if he doesn't find a move for James Harden or doesn't have any sort of direction, I'm going to say it right now, he and the whole entire front office have to clean house. They just do. They have to clean house. It's over. And maybe I thought Daryl could actually get it done. And I was happy with the Ben Simmons trade. I thought that was the right move to get James Harden for Ben Simmons, and this is not his fault. But you could have got Dame, dude. You didn't execute. You didn't go out there. You didn't even get the secondary prize. And the fact that you want to say that this team can compete for a championship right now, you are out of your mind. You are. You're out of your mind. That's not correct. And you know it. I think Nick Nurse can certainly help this team, but again, coaching only holds a certain level of accountability. When you dissect everything and look at a pie chart, the biggest chunk of the pie chart, for those of you that don't know, is the talent. The players are the people that go out there and execute on the court, on the diamond, on the field, on the ice, on the pitch, whatever it is. The head coach, of course, is in charge of team morale and putting the team, schematically speaking, in a position to win and to succeed. But if you don't have the roster, if you don't have the correct tools to compete at the highest of levels, you're never going to go anywhere. And part of me feels bad for Joel because this team has not been consistent with the roster construction. It's not all his fault. But some of the blame has to go on you too, man. All right, let's go to the comments right here. Darth Poo's right here. All right, cool. Hello, JJ, says Jacqueline. Hello, Jacqueline. How you doing? Hey, if this is a true rebuild, they offload Joel for talent. Ownership is playing dollar bills, so they don't care at all. No, they honestly don't care, and I'm happy that you brought that up. That you brought that up, Darth Poo, because all they care about is revenue, and all they care about is jersey sales. So that's just how it is. You as the paying customer, and we talked about this with the Flyers as well, it's the same analogy with the Sixers right here. Okay, you're not getting what you deserve. Tickets are expensive. You're going to the game. Okay, you're a season ticket holder, right? Why on earth, if I'm working and it's really hard for me to make $1 and whatnot, and I finally get a ticket to go to the game, why would I want to go if this team is just not going to be competing for the highest of levels, and that's what I expected to get out of my money? If I'm paying for cable to watch this team on TV, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm paying for something to watch this team win and watch them compete at the highest of levels just to get to the NBA Finals, just to get to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. I can understand why people are frustrated. And for years, I've defended this team. It's hard to win in this league. I know. I get it. Okay, Ben Simmons was on this team. He was an Achilles heel. Joel Embiid wasn't always healthy. There were always things, and there still are. Like, there's definitely some things that play into it. But if you're just consistently losing again and again and again and again and again and again, and it just keeps repeating itself, what's the worth? What's the value of that, man? What's the value of me watching these games if all that's going to happen is my heart's going to be broken and we're watching the same exact product out there even with different personnel, even with different guys. It hurts. It's like pulling teeth. You're getting to the root of the problem that you've been avoiding for so long, and you just have to come on and vent about it. I seriously dislike this team. I'm not looking forward to this season. JJ, don't let this waste your energy. Oh, it's not. It's definitely not. We're going to come on here and we're going to talk about the Phillies at 7 o'clock. You bet we are. But I'd be foolish if I didn't get this out of my system. Because I do care about this team. Sound like a Flyers fan to start, too. Kenny Smith says the max cap space won't matter in the offseason. Embiid says he's committed to winning with the Sixers, but we can read between the lines. Embiid is going to give the Sixers an ultimatum. Okay, if you have not seen the tweet out there that Joel tweeted yesterday, there's no coincidence, okay? Jrue Holiday gets traded, and then as soon as that happens, and the media brought this up today, I don't think it was Kyle Neubeck, I forget who it was, somebody that works for like either the Inquirer or the Sixers.com website or whatever. Literally, he tweeted out and he said, well, this offseason has been fun. He was asked about it today, and I think you and I all know what that means. That's a shot. That's a shot at Daryl Morey. It's a shot at the Sixers organization. I'm not telling you it's all Daryl's fault, but it's just the system. It's the system with how this thing was built. And on top of that, guys showing off their egos and not wanting to play. That's the part that makes it worse. And then us paying guys way too much. That still comes back to haunt us to this day. And I love Embiid. I love his work ethic. I love him as a talent. I think he's phenomenal. But I would not be opposed if he said, guys, I want out. I would root for him personally, second behind my team. I still stand with them, but just not happy. You know, I brushed up on this a little bit when I was talking the last time. The head coach can only do so much. But even last year, and I shouldn't be harping up on the past, but there were even reports that I've heard, and I've worked within the organization. There were things that I heard that sometimes people wouldn't be going over drills, like rebounding drills or passing drills or shooting drills, and I don't think that really surprises anybody. But even just those silly fundamentals really hurt this team last year. But there's always a problem with this team. This team always has drama. Just have a direction. All right? That's all I ask. All right, I think I'm going to get out of here. I think that we're done rambling. Those Sixers, I guess. Not happy. I'm really sad. I even listened to what Nick Nurse had to say today and Tyrese Maxey, and I couldn't even feel happy for them. Because there's bigger fish to fry. We wanted Tobias Harris to be traded, and now we're forced because some other superstar that didn't prove his worth for his contract is still on our team. Now, this doesn't mean, guys, that because I don't like where the team is heading, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be doing play-by-play, because guess what? We have an obligation, okay? When a team is I don't care if they're competing for a championship or not. We have a job to do. We got to cover these teams. We got to call the games like they are. And just because they're not doing well, guess what? The Phillies were so bad for so many years. And guess what? Now they're finally doing really, really well. The Eagles were so bad for so many different years. Oh my gosh. It took them forever just to get their first Super Bowl. So we're doing these games no matter what. Okay? We want to get more and more reps with basketball. And that's how we're doing it. But yes, probably these post game shows that we're going to do wouldn't surprise me if they're like this. But we're still going to be calling these games. Okay? I want to make sure that I make that clear, and I want you guys to understand that. But yes, we have a baseball Red October to look forward to, and we have a nice Eagles run to look forward to as well. This team is it's just a shame. And enough said. All right. I'll see you guys in about an hour or so. We're going on at 7 o'clock. With the Philly stuff, we're going to take your calls. And I am going to go home. I just wanted to scream and just let everything out because I got some stuff off my chest, I feel like. All right. I definitely do feel better. All right. Love you guys. Catch you later tonight. And I'll see you guys there. Peace.